Well, hello there. You have landed on my YouTube channel. I'm Shannon West, and this is a video for the Great American Stampin' Show, in which 4 stampers focus on one bunch of product, one bundle or stamp set, and show you ideas. Then you get to decide who the winner is. This is round 12. Guess who won round 11? Yours truly here. So I get to be crowned. I got crowned last week. You have a week to vote, and then I got a week to wear my crown, and now it's time to take this off and go to work. If I can get this out of my hair, go to work on round 12. So let me show you the product that we are featuring this time. Sparkling Snowflakes is the featured bundle for this round. And this is just a really fun snowflake set. I don't know, there's really no other way to describe it, but you can see that there's 3 pairs of snowflakes. These go together, those so same size that you can layer and do 2-step stamping, and some lovely greetings as well. So I'll be using this, of course, and then I've got a little bit of Very Vanilla. This is watercolor paper, so a little bit of watercoloring is about to happen. Some Misty Moonlight, a little bit of vellum, and I'm going to supplement with one of the dies from Gorgeously Made dies. Then I've got some embellishments, of course, this fabulous Sweet Sorbet, what is this? I always forget the names. Metallic woven ribbon, iridescent rhinestones, and fresh freesia. There's my color scheme. Kind of interesting, maybe not. I don't know. Snowflakes, I think, blues and, pinks and stuff like that. And then the modern oval punch will also make an appearance. So let's start with the piece of watercolor paper. For this, I am going to do some Emboss Resist. That's the other thing I forgot to say that you'll see is a little bit of embossing powder. And so to start off with, I'm going to take just these 2 images, the biggest snowflake and the smallest, and just stamp these kind of randomly. These are the supposed to be the first step, not the detailed images. And so this is a little tricky because you have to really pay attention to where you're stamping, because you can't really see it afterwards. It's kind of hard to spot. So, it's a little bit of a mystery, I guess. We'll see what it looks like once I get the embossing powder on it. And so hopefully they don't overlap, but they might. Let's see what happens. Let me just sprinkle this on, and then we will know, because it will cover all of the Versamark. Okay, so I did a pretty good job, I would say. Clean that off. So those 2 come pretty close together, but that's all right. That'll work. And then at this point, you kind of look around and say, do I need to add any more or clean up any of the things that might be superfluous? But I think it looks pretty good, and I think I'm going to just go for it as is. So time for the heat tool. All right, that is looking cool. Now, the biggest mistake I see being made with embossing powder is not heating it enough till it's shiny. And Versamark and embossing is a little tricky on watercolor paper. You might be asking yourself, Shannon, why are you using watercolor paper? It's more difficult than embossing on basic white. But the reason for that is you're about to see. So let's now do some watercoloring. I'm going to put a paper towel down just to absorb some of this water, because it's about to get pretty messy up in these parts. So I've got a spritzer here, and I have put water in it already. And now I'm going to just grab my Wink of Stella and squeeze a couple of drops of Wink of Stella into the color spritzer. So just to give it a little, a little sparkle. I'm going to use the greeting that says, make the season sparkle. So let's live up to that with this card. And so I'll just spray all over all of this, and then my next step is to add a little bit of color. So I've got this block here, and I'm going to just put a couple of drops of fresh freesia. Well, I think maybe, yeah, I'll put 2 down, but I might only need 1 drop. And then just need to water that down a little bit so that there's, you know, so the color isn't so intense. I want it to be kind of a really light, airy color, I guess, a very light purple, almost a pink color. Okay, so that's good. There, we're ready for that. So now time for, let's spray. So I'm getting water and a little bit of Wink of Stella in with this. Ooh, I hope you can see that on the camera because there is some really nice sparkle there. Okay, now let's come back in here and add some fresh freesia just around. And I want it to have like some lights and darks, so not to be one solid color. Just kind of like add it everywhere, but keep some of the lights and darks. And so what I'm going to do to encourage that is I'm going to dry it now. I think this type of stuff works a lot better if you let it air dry, but for the video purposes, I'm going to speed it up, dry it with the heat tool, and then add a little bit more color. So dry it first, then I'll show you what's next. Okay, now this is not completely dry yet. I have removed some of the big puddles, but now I'm just going to come back with my water painter and just make sure each of the snowflakes is still a little bit wet. And then I'll add some darker color so that it absorbs. Now, I mean, I'm touching down mostly to what the part that's already been embossed. It's not going to really stick to that part, but I'm hoping it goes down into the spaces between where the embossing is, so that once it's all dry, excuse me, it will, those little, like, it looks like it's behind the snowflake. It's a little darker right behind the snowflake. So there you can see how it's developing, and now once again drying phase. Okay, so the piece of watercolor paper now is mostly dry, but you can see the snowflakes kind of look like a little bit, I don't know, dirty. So I'm just going to take a little bit of water and on my paper towel and just kind of rub each of the snowflakes and remove some of the remaining ink, because some of the ink just dried on top of the snowflake. And kind of left it to be a little bit just, I guess, I don't know, muddy is the best way I can work to explain it. Okay, so there we have, you can see our snowflakes clearly popping out of the watercolored background, and woo, there is a lot of sparkle there. So it worked, my plan worked with the Wink of Stella, and I'm happy and moving on. This is a card base that is very vanilla, which will go nicely with the background of the watercolor paper. And then I cut out this, the little piece, the design from Gorgeously Made. And I'm going to add this to my watercolor paper now with my seal adhesive just on the edge right over here. Just so it's kind of sticking out. I think maybe I'll leave it. I like the perforated detail right there. So I'll stick that down. And then I do like this to be kind of roughed up a little bit, as if it had just been pulled out of a notebook. I think that looks pretty cool. So just kind of give it a little bit of pinch like that. Okay, looking good. All right, now we need a greeting. So here's another piece of Misty Moonlight, and starting to get a lot of things up here. Let's clear off this space. I'm gonna stamp Make the Season Sparkle in, well, let's see, I think I'll do it this direction just in case. Make the Season Sparkle in Versamark, and then I'm gonna grab that snowflake and stamp that down here as well, the smallest snowflake. And then now I've got my white embossing powder, and I will emboss this so that it pops off this beautiful, let's see, there we go. Ooh, look at that. Now it's crooked. You're probably saying, Shannon, that's crooked, but don't worry, I've got a way to fix that. All right, that's finished. And so I'm going to take my, this thingy, the Modern Oval Punch, and punch that out. But before I do, because that's a little bigger than I was wanting that to be, although it does look really nice. But what I had in mind was to take my paper trimmer, and I meant to do this before, but it will still work now, and just cut a strip of this so it's not quite so big, because it feels like on that punch there's a lot of space there that isn't used. So I'll just cut that one, and then let's see, cut one more below, see if I can get it nice and straight, and that will be winning for sure. It's always a challenge, isn't it? So there, I cut off a little bit of the snowflake, so you can see right there what I have in mind. And now, if I put it in my punch, it gives it a different shape. So there you can still see it, but the sides are going to be curved, rounded, whatever you want to call it. Oh, that looks so cute. I love it. Okay, so that's good. We've got that. And then to go along with that, I've got a piece of vellum, and I'm just going to cut out a full oval of this just to give it another layer of interest to look at. And I think I'll kind of like space that a little bit to the side like so. But I've also got one more thing. That's the beautiful ribbon to help with it. So let me get this out of the way. Let's put this together. Okay, so I think this can just go down to the card with my, it's kind of thick and big, so I'm just going to do that with a little bit of liquid glue, maybe if there's any left. Okay, just so happens I have 2 bottles of that here, so let's grab the other one. That's how you know this is a real person doing this video, because you get real mistakes. Now, while I'm doing this, I want to tell you about a couple things. So first of all, we're sending out Christmas tutorials. If you've been receiving those, I hope you've been enjoying them. There's still a few weeks left, so if you'd like to have some ideas for Christmas cards, I mean, we've still got several weeks left till Christmas. So I never start my Christmas cards until, you know, like, I don't know, after Thanksgiving. I wish I did it earlier, but I'm a procrastinator at heart. So anyway, there's still time. So if you want those, sign up for my mailing list, which is in my description. And of course, the other videos for my competitors are in, I don't know how to do that. I guess I'll just put 2 dimensionals right together on this vellum, because those are going to, oh, actually, I don't want dimensionals on those. Okay. Rewind. Let's put those on this. Brandy, Julie, and Jody are preparing their videos right now for you, I'm sure. And we, let's see. So you get to pick. So thumbs up for the video that you like, for the project that you like, and vote. Okay. Now I realized looking here that there was something important that I forgot to do. And that was, I wanted this to be a fun fold. So get my paper trimmer back over here. I'm going to just trim off. This really is like the most simple fun fold, maybe of all time. So I'm just going to cut off like 5/8 of this. What is a fun fold, one might say, after seeing this? Well, in my mind, a fun fold is anything that's not a standard normal card. So there, we've just made this a little bit more fun by cutting that off, because when the receiver sees this, they'll see some extra interest there. Okay, now I'm going to add this right here. Just kind of, I don't know, a little skiwampus. There we go. And that's sticking off, which is fine. Now get my metallic ribbon, and this is a type of bow I like to do sometimes, where you just kind of wrap 3 times, 2, 3 around my fingers, all 4 of my fingers, and then just kind of twist it like that and stick it down. So I'm going to stick a little bit of adhesive here and stick it to that. Okay, so Christmas tutorials, and then this week we are announcing something really cool. The Great American Stampin' Show is going on the road. What? It's actually not on the road. It's on the water. We are hosting a cruise to Alaska, and it will be in June. It's going to be so fun. We're going to prepare like 6 different classes for you to stamp along with us. And it's going to be really fun time to just hang out with, fellow crafters, make friends, relax, and have a lot of the work done for you. I'm sure we'll figure out some sort of competition too. That'll be fun. So stay tuned for more information about that. Or I'll put the link to the sign-up sheet here in the video too. So in the video, you should see the links to all the other videos, the 3 other videos, my mailing list, and the cruise sign-up sheet. That's my card, my friends. Round 12, Sparkling Snowflakes. Hope you like it. If you do, thumbs up. Watch my friends too and see if you like theirs. And we will be back in a couple more weeks for the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you spending this time with me and hope you feel inspired. See you next time. Bye-bye.